That will be terrific. So I'm going to call the meeting to order. And I wanted, before we just did the roll call, to welcome our two new members, Maria and Eloina. I had the chance to meet them when we did an orientation, and just really excited to have them join us. I think this is a really, I told them, a really good committee to kind of get grounded in the work of the commission, and they had really good questions. So it's going to be, they're going to be great additions, I know. And I think we can do the roll call and then we'll do public comment. I think we do the instructions first, right? And is Lauren doing those? I don't remember which comes first, honestly.
Yeah, if Lauren could run through the housekeeping first,
That'd be great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Welcome, committee members, liaisons, and members of the public to the Eligibility and Budget Review Committee meeting. Thank you for joining us. We are using Zoom with the goal to foster a more inclusive environment and effective meeting. If you would like to comment during the meeting, please use the raised hand feature. Please utilize this tool to virtually indicate that you would like to speak in order to help the chair facilitate the discussion. A friendly reminder that this is a video conference and to please be aware of your surroundings behind you. All LSTFC and committee meetings will be recorded and posted to the State Bar website. Zoom captioning is available. To enable, select Live Transcript at the bottom of your Zoom screen, then select Enable Auto Transcription.
Thanks, Lauren. Erica, you want to do roll call?
Yes. Blakemore?
Here.
Fightmaster? Gonzalez?
Here.
King?
Here.
Klein? Morales?
Here. My apologies. I will turn on the camera in about 10 minutes. Thank you.
Vargas? Seligman? And then I'll go through liaisons and State Bar staff. Selena Copeland?
Present.
Laura Brown?
Here.
Melanie Snyder? Juan Wing? And I see Rocio Avalos is here. Great, thank you.
We're going to see if there's any public comment, and I think Kim or Erica will let us know if there's any members of the public that want to speak.
No one has their hand raised.
There is now, it looks like there's now one hand raised. I just
Yep,
found
you worked. Hold on one second.
says CGRSTA.
Hi, apologies, my name is not updated. My name is Kristen Henderson. I'm here from CGRS California. And I just wanted to come in at public comment to state my presence and say that later in the agenda when we get to the budget and our line item about CGRS California, I'm here to answer any questions. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. And I think you're from the Center for Gender and Refugee Studies, right?
Yes, apologies. I should have said the full name.
It's okay. I just
California.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We look forward to hearing from you later on.
Thank you.
And looks like Tim has his hand up.
Hello there.
Welcome.
Hi there. I just wanted to, again, also state that I'm here from Greater Bakersfield Legal. We have a couple of items on the agenda, and I'm here at your disposal for answering any questions.
Perfect. Thank you for joining us.
Of course.
Maybe Jennifer Rodriguez from the Youth Law Center, I'm guessing.
Yes, hello. I'm Jennifer Rodriguez from the Youth Law Center, and similarly, just wanted to offer that I'm here. We have an item on the agenda and available to answer any questions.
Perfect. Welcome. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Looks like Mark Conley Bushaib, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name.
Oh, no worries. Can you hear me okay?
Sure can.
Oh, great. Yeah, I just wanted to also similarly say I'm here from the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights of the San Francisco Bay Area. Thanks,
Terrific.
everybody.
Thank you. And Dorsey, none? We can see your hand, but I think you're muted if you're trying to say anything.
My name is Dorsey Nunn. I'm here with the Executive Director of Legal Services for Prisoners with Children, and I thought I should announce that I'm present.
That sounds great. Thanks for joining us. Okay, I think we're good, unless someone else sees something. Okay, with that, we are going to take up approval of the minutes from the August 10th, 2023 meeting. Are there any comments or corrections to those minutes? I'm not seeing any. Is there a motion and a second?
I'll move the approval of the minutes.
Thank you, Angie. Is there a second? I think one of our new members can actually second a motion, even if you weren't here for that item. And I'll just also say that you can vote in favor or in opposition to the minutes if you just as a way of sort of confidence in the process, if you're comfortable doing that.
I'd be happy to second.
Thank
This
you,
is Maria Morales.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So I think hearing no other discussion or requests for corrections, I think we can do a roll call.
Fight Master Gonzalez.
Present. Approve.
Sorry, it's either a yes or no.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Thanks. King,
Yes.
Klein, Morales,
Yes.
Vargas, Blakemore.
Yes.
Great. The minutes are approved.
Terrific. And I think we're now going to move to the updates from Erica and Rocio. So appreciate the updates. And I also just wanted to acknowledge all the work you put into the memos we have. I thought they were nice and clear and easy to understand. So just really appreciate your ongoing work.
Thank you. So as Catherine said, I'll just move right into the updates that we have on our IOLTA and EAF grants administration. So very briefly, just a few updates on our planned 2024 meetings. We're currently underway getting those on the calendar.
Erica, I'm sorry. As we can see, I think, at least on my end, I see your slide, the next slide in your notes. If there's a to kind of enlarge the specific slide.
Thanks. I think my monitors must be backwards. So how about now?
We can't see anything except us.
Hey. Let's see.
Here we go.
Looks promising. You've got
Great.
it.
Thank you. Technology when it works.
That's correct now?
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Okay,
perfect.
great.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me know. Just some quick updates on 2024 meetings. I think for those who've been on this committee before, we usually anticipate about 5 or 6 meetings throughout the year. And so we are in the process of getting those calendared. This committee's workload tends to be the heaviest over the summer, so we do still anticipate having about 3 meetings over the summer next year. But we will get those out to you soon. I really just wanted to mention that if you know of any significant dates already on your calendars for 2024 that you'd like to share with me, we can try to keep those in mind as we're scheduling to do the best that we can to sort of ensure, maximum participation from committee members. So if you have anything that you know is already a conflict for you, vacations, other major meetings, please feel free to email me in the next week or two, and we can kind of keep that in mind. And then the next bullet point, plans for IOLTA reporting, we had discussed at the last committee meeting in August, prior to approval of the IOLTA and EAF grants. There was a recommendation for a multi-year spending period for IOLTA for 2024. And there had been discussion at the committee level about tracking funds essentially over that period of time, having a 4-year spending period, which is new for these grants. And so we had told the committee that we would kind of start brainstorming as staff ways that we might sort of either update or change our reporting structures. And so that process is underway. Some things that we're looking at, as you already know, expenditure reports for IOLTA are going to move to a semi-annual basis, but EAF are going to remain quarterly. So we're looking at separating out those two reports. They're currently combined in terms of their structure. We're also looking at working out closing the IOLTA grants as funds are exhausted, rather than waiting, for example, until the end of 4 years if they've spent all their money, say in the first year or year and a half, having a mechanism to ensure that we're kind of closing out grants as the funds are spent, rather than waiting until the very end. And then because IOLTA is sort of the most flexible grant of all of the state bar's grants in terms of how the funding might be used or distributed across an organization's expenditures, we don't necessarily ask for specific deliverables related to that grant, but we are looking into sort of at the end of the grant period or once funds are spent, as part of our closeout, looking into more narrative questions to get a little bit better sense of ways to evaluate the impact of those funds. So, explaining how IOLTA was spent overall, who, it was intended to serve, who might not have been served otherwise if this funding didn't exist. Really just helping organizations characterize the impact that this funding, as well as an extended spending period, has had on them in order to, provide that feedback to the commission in the future to know sort of the benefits of this multi-year spending period, since this is sort of the first foray into trying that. So we'll have more updates, obviously, as staff kind of fleshes that out more, but just wanted to share that with you, that those are some of the thoughts that we've had so far about ways to update the reporting given this multi-year spending structure. Rocio, did you have anything that you wanted to add about that?
No, that's good. Thank you.
And then third, just wanted to remind everyone that at least for the remainder of this year, our meeting location notice requirements have been suspended. So it really won't impact this committee very much because this should be the last meeting of the year for this committee, but to keep an eye out from our office if there are any other updates about noticing requirements. But currently all of our meetings are going to be remote, and you don't need to provide that update ahead of time. So. And then the last update, and I can provide a little context for our newer members, is related to the Coalition of California Welfare Rights Organizations. So CCWRO is an organization that had an eligibility review conference over the summer related to some concerns about its internal and quality controls. There were irregularities in its homelessness prevention reporting, which is a different grant, but also other concerns about IOLTA and EAF materials being submitted late or inaccurate or incomplete, as well as some accounting issues related to IOLTA and EAF. One example being that the organization carried over a significant amount of funds, a larger amount of funds than what had been previously approved by this committee and the commission. And so that warranted a review conference with that organization prior to establishing eligibility for 2024 grants. And then ultimately what the committee recommended and the commission adopted at the meetings back in August was to find the organization eligible for funding in 2024, but laid out this several, bullet point plan about some conditions that the organization should abide by in order to ensure continued eligibility in the future. And so we just wanted to give an update on the status of some of these items. One is that the organization's monitoring report from its site visit this year did come in late. We received it, I think, either 4 or 5 days after the deadline. And then the substance of the report indicated the steps that the organization was taking to comply were sort of prospective, that some of the steps hadn't been taken yet, and that they anticipated at upcoming board meetings, for example, they would address certain items, but didn't go into great detail about what they had done or expect to start implementing. I believe that, and we'll talk about this, there was also a late budget submission related to the 2024 grants. And then in relation to their homelessness prevention funding, there was concern about the reporting on that they had submitted to the state bar already, that there had been overspending, and I believe some commingling of funds on HP2 and HP3 grants. And so there is a requirement pending at this point for the organization to report out its overspending, so accurately reporting what it overspent on the grant already, as well as monthly expenditure reports and a spend down plan. And I believe that those were due earlier this week, but staff is working with them to receive those monthly reports still. So that may require returning some funds for homelessness prevention, which is not something this committee needs to decide, but is just to give you a general update kind of on the various points on this plan. So it's just to let you all know what the current status is. Staff is planning on doing a follow-up monitoring visit in 2025. So we will be addressing a number of these items as part of our monitoring with the organization, and would welcome any committee member participation as part of that process if you would like. But just wanted to open it up for any questions or comments about that.
Anyone on the committee have a question or comment about the status update? Maria, yes.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm just curious, based on that conference meeting that you all had with the organization, excuse me, what was your assessment in terms of what their needs were? Is there a change in leadership? Is there, do they just need structural support? Just kind of curious to learn if we have a stronger sense of what their needs are so that these challenges don't occur as we move forward.
Yeah, I think that certainly one of the issues is that the organization, as far as I understand it, does not have a lot of in-house sort of fiscal expertise. And so one thing that they're doing is hiring an outside accountant who I believe they've engaged already, but I'm not entirely sure sort of at this point in time how up to speed that person is, or their how much work that they've done thus far, but they have engaged someone. So I think that would potentially go a long way to helping them set up the structures that they need to ensure that they're maintaining separate funds, that they're reporting accordingly. State Bar staff is also providing a lot of technical assistance and spending a lot of time meeting with the organization and providing feedback in that respect as well. And so I think it's also perhaps, and I don't work on the homelessness prevention funds as much. So this piece, again, this is just my impression, but some of those funds entail federal funds and federal reporting, which is, I believe, something new for that organization. And so that's where they kind of ran into some challenges, as well as maybe not having enough background on those requirements and how stringent some of them can be. So I would say those are probably some of the main challenges, but yeah, I don't know if Rocio has any other, or Selena, go ahead.
Well, I just had a question around, HP3 funding, because it's federal. I hear from a lot of organizations that they're having to learn a lot. I just out of curiosity, how common is it that organizations, through your monitoring, you've discovered kind of accounting growth opportunities because of HP3 reporting?
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, you go ahead.
Thanks. So there with HB3 desk reviews, this is an update that we've provided. The Homelessness Prevention Funds Committee has heard, and then I believe the entire commission as well provided updates, that there are two particular common findings that we're seeing across organizations, particularly for those who are first-time recipients of federal awards. And our staff is providing TA on those particular findings, and we still do plan. We've been working on potential firms or CPAs to come in and do additional kind of workshops on those particular findings, knowing that they are common. So our staff is providing individual TA, but thinking that it might be helpful to provide additional support for and welcome all of our federal award recipients on both of our federal grants, HB3 and CalHFA. That being said, these particular issues that we've seen are separate from where we're seeing more commonly. So I think it's kind of the bigger internal controls piece. So absolutely there is some overlap for the particular findings, but as this committee kind of dove into a little bit more in the eligibility review conference about internal controls generally. And there, as Erica shared, there have been some steps, as we understand, taken to strengthen some of those internal procedures, awareness and knowledge, the staff doing the work about the grant requirements and expectations, federal otherwise, and working towards some of these recommendations as well. But we are still seeing, as Erica shared, some of these that aren't being met. And so there will be a more in-depth update specifically on this item at the commission meeting next week. So it is an agenda item. So you will all be hearing a little bit more, and I'm sure CCWRO will also be available to answer any questions as well.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for that. And this, there's a related item to this under the late submissions that we'll be taking up once we're done with the updates. So maybe we can have a further discussion then. Erica, were there other updates you wanted to provide?
No, I think I could just move on to the status of the monitoring visits. Oh,
great.
Angie.
I had a sort of general question. Assuming the worst, that the CCRWRO fails to meet these conditions, what do we do? Do we defund them, and then what happens? Has that happened before, where or agency that's been getting a grant suddenly fails and no longer gets money?
So this would, based on what this committee decided, they will be receiving 2024 IOLTA EAF funding unless something, I'm assuming, right, unless something,
right, I know,
but otherwise it would come back to you when the application review period is taking place for the 2025 funding. So that all of this information, including anything that comes out of the 2024 monitoring visit, as Erica mentioned, if anyone's interested in joining us for that to kind of get more insight about the organization and progress on these plans, you're welcome to join. Otherwise, we will bring all of that information to you as part of the review for 2025 funding.
I think Angie might have been asking a more general question, like just generally what happens. So setting this organization aside, if someone is not meeting the grant terms and conditions, what are the possible things that could happen?
Right. Oh, during so some of the things that we've that we've already, I think, incorporated. If that helps, let me know if that doesn't answer the question, such as contingencies, which this committee did put into place. So this plan and contingencies that giving them kind of a year to try to make these improvements and these changes, as opposed to saying, you're not eligible for 2024 funding. It's meeting with them and making clear what the expectations are, where there's room for improvement, and having that year runway to try to incorporate those changes, and staff also being available to provide additional TA as needed. I think if as is right now, that's the plan to revisit. Then the next step would be, and I think that this committee, would be within the right to add additional contingencies or conditions based on the updates that you're hearing. So that is absolutely your prerogative if you decide that, okay, we need to ramp up based on that. And then if you decide that to kind of escalate that, we can explore that further. At the moment, the plan is to, here's the plan. You can add additional contingencies if you decide to, and then to revisit for the next year since they've been found eligible. But if you have a concern specifically with 2024 funding, then that's something within the grant period, as opposed to holding off until the next year. There are a number of things that within the grant agreement, in terms of not meeting the requirements, that you would be able to explore.
Well, thank you, but that's kind of not my question, which was more generic. Has this committee ever defunded a program for failure to meet conditions?
Trying to think, not in the time I think that I've been at the state bar, but I can circle back on. Selena, do you have?
So just to make sure I understand the question, Angie, you're asking if they would lose their IOLTA and equal access fund, if they would lose their eligibility for failure to meet other grant conditions. Okay, got it.
I think it's yes, if someone has, if this has happened before, is that right, Angie? If like during an active grant cycle, they've been found eligible, and if they have been, I guess if the funding if they've been deemed like ineligible, I guess that the agreement terminated.
Okay.
Is that the question? I can circle back. I can circle back to that. Not in the time that I don't think that's happened while I've been here. There have been organizations found to be ineligible for funding. So come application time, for a number of reasons, to be found ineligible. But I can check on that question if helpful, in terms of historical context.
It's just kind of a what if in the long run, because this agency seems to be teetering on the brink. I mean, I know we want to keep funding it. I mean, the point is to be positive.
Yes.
But it's just a what if question. But that's okay. Don't waste any more time.
Okay, Eloina, did you have a comment?
I do have a question regarding the monitoring visit. Would that be conducted remotely?
It would.
They're all by Zoom for the next year at least.
Okay. And if we're interested,
you could do this one or any other organization that was set for monitoring visit in 2024. Everyone's on a 3-year cycle, so staff could let you know who's up for a review this year if you were interested in joining.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Okay. I think Erica will touch on this next too, but absolutely, we have, as Catherine mentioned, 3-year cycle, and we have 10 new grantees, time recipients, and so there's 10 of those, and they during your first year you also have a monitoring visit, and then 3 years thereafter. So we'll have a lot of monitoring. It's a good opportunity to get to know first-time grantees, and if you're interested in joining one of those or any of them. And so you could either, if there's a specific one you're interested in joining, we can share that schedule. If you want to let us know, hey, these are the dates I'm available, let me know if there are any I can join, we can also do that. And then this particular one, if there's any interest in joining, just to have a better understanding and follow up on the particular plan that this committee has approved leading up to the 2025 application.
Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions about this, so let's just return to any other updates. I think we just covered that maybe.
Yeah, I think we did cover the majority of it, but just a quick update on the status of monitoring visits. So coming up on the end of the year here. So we had 34 visits to schedule in 2023. So far, we've completed 29 of them. So we just have a handful left for the remainder of the year. I think, as was mentioned, we do these visits on 3-year cycles. So each year it's about a third of grantees that participate. Although there will be a large bump next year, given that we do have 10 new grantees. So it might be a bit of a heavier monitoring load for 2024. You know, in addition to our increased grantee numbers, we also have increased staffing on the state bar side. So it's been great to be able to distribute these across our staff to make it more manageable. And the only other thing I wanted to mention is that we also may have some follow-up visits in addition to the regularly scheduled monitoring cycle. So this year, for example, we had 2 follow-up visits, and that's something that we are becoming more systematic about in terms of scheduling those. And so we anticipate, in addition to the new grantees, there may be a few follow-up visits, CCWRO being one example of a situation where we would maybe want to not wait the 3 years to check in again and to get updates on their progress regarding some of the actions that are in their findings and their responses. So as was already mentioned, you're all welcome to participate. I think perhaps once we have the list of grantees who will participate, maybe we could circulate that, Rocio. Just obviously scheduling happens throughout the year, but we could share with you which organizations will be participating. And then if you have a particular interest, you can feel free to reach out so that we notify you when we're thinking about scheduling.
That'd be great.
Just to do another plug on that, it's a really great way. You hear about all the wonderful work. These funds are supporting the great work of the organizations, and now you actually get to hear a little bit more directly from them as opposed to through us kind of an aggregate. So just want to say it's I know it's a highlight for, it is a compliance requirement, but it is a highlight for a lot of our staff, and myself included, having done these and feeling, inspired and motivated coming away of just understanding, what these funds are meant for and the impact they have in the community. So definitely would encourage folks to participate.
Terrific. So I think we've done 4.1 and 4.2, correct, Erica?
Yes.
And that's going to take us on to our sort of action items for the day. So let's turn to 5.1, which are the recommendations around budget revisions.
Yes, so we received a request from Greater Bakersfield Legal Assistance to revise their 2022 IOLTA budget. For those who haven't gone through sort of the budget revision process before, our standards are if it's below 10% of the grant award, a grantee is allowed to make that revision without needing prior approval. If it's between 10 and 25%, that is a level where staff can approve the request. And then if the request exceeds 25% of the grant award, that's something that would require committee review and then commission approval. So in Greater Bakersfield's case, I apologize, I put carryover, it should say budget revision, but they requested a 25% budget revision. And in support of their request, they mentioned that they had moved money into non-personnel and administrative expenses by employing temporary or contract service staff. I believe that this most recent revision also built on a prior revision that was approved, which had to do with their some hiring challenges on their paralegals. They moved money into other staffing classifications in order to make up for some vacant positions. And so we're able to move some of that into attorneys or other staff. And they also had to make some adjustments to their non-personnel expenditures due to the fact that they calculate those based on the full-time equivalents of individuals working on the grant. And since that had changed, they necessarily had to make some changes to their non-personnel line items accordingly. So one of the reasons that this is being brought to the committee, because even though it's at 25%, is because we have recommended expense ratios, which you may have seen in your budget memo to devote 75% or more to personnel expenditures and 25% or less to non-personnel. In this case, due to the revisions, the personnel expenditures went down to 72% proportion of their IOLTA award. And so that is a reason why it would be brought to the committee's attention when there are deviations from those expense ratios. It requires committee approval. So given the organization's explanation and the fact that, you know, it's in service of providing or continuing services to clients and maintaining operations, staff had recommended approval of this budget revision.
So Erica, just for clarity, what we're approving now is the carryover percent, right?
It's a budget revision. I apologize.
Okay, sorry, the budget revision. Yes, you said that. And we will later approve the expense ratio with the other ones, or we're doing that now?
That's they have this is for their 2022 award. So
Okay.
It's a deviation that came up because of the revision. So this is within 2022. They also have a budget deviation for 2020.
Okay, so now we're
which is
doing
wonderful.
2022, which
Yes.
is the budget revision.
Yes.
And the budget revision implicates the expense ratios, but essentially they're taking the same positions that would have been under personnel and staff and instead moving them to contracts. So the same functions are being performed just in a different way, which is the reason for that, right?
Right. Yes, and the fact that some non-personnel expenditures had to sort of be recalculated because of their method of allocating expenditures.
Okay, so the staff is recommending that we approve the budget revision, but before we take up that motion, are there any questions about that from committee members? None seen. Selena?
This is just a question related to the rules revision process that is looking at the same issue. Is this something that would be elevated to the commission if after those rules revisions are accepted or adopted around people to people like staff, or is this something that staff would be able to approve in the future?
I believe staff would be able to approve it in the future with a change that was made yesterday to the proposed rule, but the rule has to be approved by the Board of Trustees. So let's just take what's before us right now, which is we actually need to approve this because there's not a rule in effect that would be otherwise. Is that good?
Yeah, and I think the other thing is, you know, had there not been this expense ratio deviation, staff could have approved this because it was actually at 25%. So really the primary reason it's coming up to the committee's attention is that expense ratio deviation, which is not necessarily impacted by that new rule. So yeah, so that's still kind of, as Catherine said, pertinent to this discussion.
Okay, any other questions? No, I don't see any from the committee. Any other comments from anyone else? If not, I will entertain a motion. And the proposed resolution is on the screen. Angie, was that you?
Yes.
Making a motion, thank you. Is there a second?
I will second
I'll
it.
second.
Thank you, Eloina. Appreciate that. Any other discussion? Not seeing any. Erica, could you do the roll call, please?
Sure. Fightmaster? Gonzalez?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Klein? Morales?
Yes.
Vargas? And Blakemore.
Yes, thank you.
The motion passes.
Okay, I think we're going to now take up item 5.2, which is
More.
again carryover approach to grants with multi-year spend down.
Yes. So carryovers typically Historically, office practice has been if a carryover is requested and approved, there's a 6-month period for organizations to keep funds into their next grant period and to spend down. One exception that was mentioned in your memo was the 2020 grant year. Both IOLTA and EAF had 12-month carryover periods, and that was in response to obviously the extreme conditions of the pandemic and the impact that it had on grantees' abilities to operate. And so grantees were given that extended period to spend those funds down, which overlapped obviously with the 2021 funding. So the issue that had come up here is that in the past 2 cycles, basically, there were 2 grants that had been sort of preemptively approved for extended spending periods. One was 2022 EAF, which has a 2-year spending period. And then what the commission just approved in this past August for the upcoming 2024 year, IOLTA will have a 4-year spending period. And this is new. This is not something that had been done by the commission before. In the case of 2022 EAF, those funds essentially doubled compared to what they had been in prior years. And so that was sort of what prompted the 2-year spending period for that grant. And then similarly for 2024 IOLTA, the funding is going to be, cumulatively, the funding is almost double what it was compared to this year. So, and it's a very large amount of funding. I believe it's about 95 million. So in order to accommodate for that, reduce the burden of carryover requests, and to ensure grantees have maximum flexibility in spending down, that's why the commission went with the 4-year option. So the grant period, however, remains 1 year. All of the funds, for example, for 2024 are going to be dispersed in 2024. It was really just to give grantees the option of how and when they want to spend the funding that works best for them. So in the budget proposals that we'll be going over today, for example, grantees could, they had the option in the budget to demonstrate sort of how and when they're going to be spending those funds. Many of them chose to spend it in the first year, but many of them also decided to spend it out over 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So, so it depends, but the thing to keep in mind, and that we've messaged regarding this, is that yearly allocations are going to continue. So all of 2024 funds will be dispersed in 2024, even if they're not spent in 1 year. And then there will also be 2025 allocations, 2026. So some questions that we had received were whether there would be an additional carryover period, for example, at the end of the 2022 EAF spending period, if there would be another 6 months to spend down. And then similarly, looking prospectively at 2024, if there would be a 6-month carryover period at the end of those 4 years. And since that is not a question that the committee or the commission had really touched on during these discussions, we wanted to bring this to the committee and make a recommendation that the extended spending periods essentially be viewed as a pre-approved carryover, which would mean that at the end of the 2 years for EAF, whatever is not spent down would be returned. And similarly for IOLTA, at the end of the 4 years, whatever is not spent from that grant would need to be returned. And some of the rationale for this is what I mentioned about the grant period. It is still 1 year, and the commission has approved a longer spending period, but the grant period itself is 1 year, and seems to play into the rationale that the commission had initially, that giving a longer spending period should allow grantees to be able to plan ahead and exhaust those funds before sort of the time is up to spend down. And also just sort of mentioned in the memo as well was the approach that we had taken to 2022 EAF was grantees could initially propose spending over the 2 years, and about a third of grantees did do that. Those who did not, but still wanted to spend into 2023, they submitted carryover requests last year. And so it has already in function essentially been treated as a carryover. So those are some of the considerations that we brought up, but it is our recommendation to treat the extended spending periods as a pre-approved carryover, and not necessarily have another 6-month period at the end of either of these spending periods for additional carryover. But happy to answer questions about that as well.
So has there been, I guess I have a couple questions. Has this been discussed with the legal aid community, and what is their feedback about that? And second, does this require a rule to do this? I mean, there's a whole set of rules that were approved regarding the carry forwards. I think I've kind of lost, I've been in too many cities, so I've lost track of the days, but I think that was this week sometime. So Selena was referring to it earlier. So that would be helpful background, I think, to have as well for the committee.
Yeah. So there isn't currently a rule in place about sort of the length of carryovers. That's that is why the commission has had sort of a good amount of discretion in terms of extending or shortening those periods. So even the 6-month carryover, for example, is based on historical precedent or practice, but is not codified at this point. And so, yeah, that because there isn't necessarily a rule that covers it at the moment, that is why we're trying to address it here to be clearer about it. The feedback from the community, we've received some questions about it, but we haven't necessarily circulated in advance the request in terms of getting a response prior to this, given that we are coming up towards the end of the year, and the questions were coming up more recently. It became apparent to us that this was something that needed to be addressed, but was not necessarily in a time frame in which we could get the same kind of feedback we normally would want to do. So.
Thanks for that. Selena, did you have a comment?
I'm happy to be on stack after commissioners if there was a commissioner who was ahead of me.
I don't see a hand, but somebody might have been asking a question verbally.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think that was me. I was just going to add to what Erica mentioned, just to note that we have a lot of grantees, legal aid organizations on this call. We did let them know that this item would be on the agenda in case they wanted to make public comment or to share any feedback, knowing that we've been receiving the questions, but it hasn't yet been fully discussed.
Okay, so let's hear from Selena, and then we'll see if anyone else has a comment.
We learned about this when we were looking at materials for this meeting as well. So we haven't done broad outreach to the community, but what we've heard from people who've raised concern is they assumed that the prior practice of 6 months carryover would be the standard. And so I think some organizations are surprised because they, if they had known at the grant agreement time or earlier on, they would have planned to spend it down, but they are kind of operating under this assumption of we can carry over for 6 months if we have to. So I think LAC's position on this is that for 2024 IOLTA, I think we have time to tell organizations you cannot carry on additional 6 months after that 4-year period. But for the 2022 EAF, I think that there should be a little bit more leniency because organizations don't have time if they assume they were going to have 6 months to spend it down in the next 6 weeks instead. So it's more about clarity earlier on in the grant term. I think organizations would really appreciate that.
And I guess for the bar staff, has there been, I'm guessing because this is now on our agenda, there hasn't been any communication one way or the other about a carry over period for I'm now just focused on the 2022 because the 2024 hasn't even gone out yet. So I think they're in a bit of two different places. So any communication to grantees about that?
Not yet. It is coming up. We typically, as an office, send out notifications or communication around requests. If you want to make a request, submit it around mid-November. So knowing that the timing was coming up, we wanted to make sure that that we had this conversation guidance from EBR about which direction we were going in specifically for 2022 EAF. And then to Selena's point, so that we can let grantees know now before we enter into the actual 2024 grant period, sign agreements, all of that, kind of what they're looking at. Granted, for 2024, they'll have up to 4 years. They can make budget modifications that will be.
Yeah, I think 20, that's what I agree. They're two separate kind of discussions, right? One has to be just, there's a need for an answer now, and there's a need for clarity about 2024, right? Okay, so let's see if there's any public comment about the proposal is from the bar staff is to not allow for a carry forward for either 2022 or for 2024. But let's see if there's any public comment about that, and then we'll take up a motion after we hear from that and any other commission member comments.
Hello, my name is Stephanie Valencia. I'm the Chief Financial Officer at California Rural Legal Assistance, Inc. We're a statewide organization, and I'm newer to legal aid, having only been here for a year and a half, and I was definitely in the camp that made the assumption of the 6-month carryover for the 2022 EAF award. And so thank you for letting me share with all of you. But we have a specific county in our program that we've struggled to spend down. However, we have put together a strategic plan to spend that includes opening a satellite office in the county and hiring additional staff. And we were hoping to leverage the 2022 EAF funding that we have in that county, as well as our 2024 awards, and had also planned in our 2024 IOLTA budget to push the funding for that specific county out into future years. So we had put together a whole plan. So your consideration on providing the 6-month carryover on the 2022 EAF awards at this point would be very helpful to us in executing that plan and providing services in that county.
Okay, thank you, Stephanie. Appreciate your comment and being here. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak to this issue?
Yeah, I've allowed Tim Denari to unmute himself.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Just an overall comment on the multi-year spend down capabilities on a going forward basis is just utterly fantastic. So it gives us the ability to plan. We know that there's going to be layers in future years of funding that we have to deal with, in addition to the multi-years that we might have budgeted these initial funds from IOLTA. But overall, we think it's great. The 2022 EAF, just a comment on that, because it is a little bit nuanced. I think that when the original 2022 EAF budgets were proposed, you had an option to choose either 2 years, or in our case, we chose 1 year. And we're not sure why we did that, but we did choose 1 year. And then our second year of 2022 EAF is pursuant to a carryover that was granted to us for 1 year. And I don't know if that nuance puts it in, bifurcates it into 2 different classes of 2022 EAF funds that are being spent in 2023. One being the second year of the 2-year option, and one being us, which is a carryover of 1 year from 2022 EAF. I think that we're going to be in fairly good shape to spend it, but obviously it's good to have some flexibility. We understand that on the table, it is not proposed to allow an additional 6-month carryover, but we're just curious, depending on what the outcome is, would we be treated as a different class of grantee based on the way we obtained the second year of spend down for EAF?
So I think what happened, and then staff should weigh in, is that if a grantee did not select 2 years, but then essentially had money left at the end, they were sort of grandfathered into the 2-year grant period.
Okay.
And so that you're the same as everyone else that had a 2-year grant period to spend the Equal Access Fund. And that's sort of based on things that happened at prior commission meetings, but Erica or Rocio should say if I'm mistaken.
Yeah, grantees that opted into a 1-year budget when they proposed 2022 EAF expenditures, they were required to submit a carryover request, but it was staff's recommendation to conform to the same amount of time that those who had originally submitted a 2-year budget would have. So they have had this whole year to spend down. But I think what Tim was saying was sort of getting at the way that staff had sort of, I believe, messaged and treated these with grantees, that if you propose 2 years at the outset, it's like a pre-approved carryover. If not, then you can still request a carryover, which many organizations like Tim's organization did. But in terms of his question about being treated differently because they requested only a 1-year budget and already received 1 carryover, I think that they would not necessarily be treated differently from other grantees who had requested 2 years. If the committee and the commission decided to allow another 6 months, I don't think there would be a distinction just because they have already requested the prior carryover.
Okay, that was my question, Erica. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll triple check, but agree. Yeah, I don't think it would be considered like a carryover request for a carryover. I think it's just the way we named it, since it was essentially the 2-year pre-approved. But that's an excellent question. Thanks for asking that.
Thank you.
And I believe there's one other person who'd like to comment.
Sure.
Hi, thank you. This is, excuse me, Michael Sullen, Director of Finance at California Indian Legal Services. We were one of those that originally with 2022 EAF did do a 2-year budget. And so obviously we've been spending the part of that this year. And we ultimately spent all of it probably July or August of this year. And then at this point now, we started spending the 2023 EAF funds, which of course are generally supposed to be spent by December 31st of this year. So I'm assuming we will be able to ask for a 6-month carryover for those funds. There's a good chance those funds could be over 50% of the original amount though. And I kind of think maybe some others might be in the same boat as us with regard to that, work real hard to spend the 2022 funds and have a whole lot of 2023 left at this stage. And wondered if you would comment on that.
Erica, did you want to, is there sort of a question about the 2023 funds within that? So
I think Michael is correct that he certainly would be permitted to submit a carryover request for the 2023 funds. There's no question there. I think sort of the question that would be addressed to the committee is the approach to larger carryover requests, because grantees have been spending their 2022 funds this year. They may not have been able to make as much of a dent in the 2023 allocation as they would have expected at the outset. And so, given the committee and the commission's concerns previously about very large carryovers, I think that's maybe, and Michael can correct me if I'm mischaracterizing that, but that's one of the questions or the concerns is if larger carryover requests will be entertained given the context that they were spending 2022 over the course of this year as well.
yes, Myra, so Selena, please weigh in, but the rules committee looked at that issue for requests that were greater than 50%, and I believe it requires a showing of extraordinary circumstances. That's the proposed rule. So those rules are, the proposed rule was posted on the website on, I think it was on Wednesday's committee meeting. So you might want to take a look at that.
I have, and we'll look at that. I just wonder if, because of the extra large amounts in 22, 23 from the 22 carryover, if that would be considered an extraordinary circumstance or not.
And the committee at least didn't take a specific position about that.
Guess we'll wait and see when we submit the carryover request.
Okay. All right. So back to are there any other hands up, Erica?
Not that I see.
Okay. So back to, do you want to, is there a proposed resolution? And then the committee can have some discussion about that?
Sure. Yes.
So the proposed resolution is that there would be no additional carry forward for either 2022 EAF or 2024 IOLTA, because they represent pre-approved carry forwards because you had longer than the typical 6-month carry forward after that. So it's a rule specifically for multi-year grants. And I think the question is, so the choices for us are to make a motion approving this or to propose some modification of this, given the public comments we heard from a couple of grantees and from Selena relative to the 2022 EAF. So I'll entertain some discussion from the committee members or a proposal. Are there any comments or a motion? Eloina.
I do have a clarifying question. I just want to make sure I understand this correctly. So those agencies are we only talking about 2022 funds and not 2023 funds?
Correct.
Meaning, okay, so those who are spending their 2023 funds now and still have quite a bit of money left to spend down, they can still spend that money in 2024 to request a carryover of those funds. We're just referring to the 2022 EAF funds, I believe.
We're talking about the 2022 EAF funds that had a 2-year spend down period and the 2024 IOLTA funds that will have a 4-year spend down period. They haven't been dispatched yet. So the staff's recommendation, I think, is that when there is a multi-year period provided at the beginning of the grant period, that there would not be an additional carry forward period.
Okay, thank you.
And I think the concern that was raised was that people didn't understand that before for the 2022 EAF grants and had believed that, consistent with the office practice, that there could be the opportunity for a 6-month carry forward. And now it's the end of the year. We're meeting in November and the funds have to be spent by December, but they believe they were for 2022 could apply for a carry forward for funds remaining. That was CRLA's comment and Tim's organization's comment. So I think Angie, and then we'll hear from Selena.
Thank you. It somehow, it seems unfair to add a new restriction to people who are in the last stages of planning what was a 2-year-old grant to all of a sudden say, now you can't do what you've always expected you would be able to do. I can see making a change for the future, but it seems unfair to make it retroactive, basically. Is there a way we can make it only for the
divide? We could make 2 separate motions and do one thing for 2022 and do something different for 2024, which hasn't even begun yet and has a much longer spend down period.
Can I add, Catherine? I think if you wanted to make that change, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but you would just be able to delete or remove the 2022 EAF reference. Because it would go through our standard carryover request process. And we would only be saying that there wouldn't be that opportunity for 2024 after the 4 years.
Okay, we can do that too. Thank you for the suggestion. Selena.
Again, this is a tiny bit of context for the newer commissioners, but I'll be very brief. The Equal Access Fund is actually allocated by the state legislature through the Budget Act, and we do a lot of budget advocacy on this. And this is the additional Equal Access Fund was a project that I worked on. Now it's like 2021 was when we got this. It feels forever ago. But the legislature is the one who decided, after multiple advocacy efforts, to allow multiple years of spend down because they knew it was too much of an increase. Equal Access Fund prior to this had been at 20 million a year, and it shot up to 70 million a year. And so that's why the legislature allowed this additional spend down, is because even they understood you couldn't quickly spend that much money in 1 year. So just a little bit of extra background. I know we're normally kind of limited by the statutory language, but this is the reason why this is a 2-year spend down to begin with.
Okay, thanks for the context, Selena. Angie, did you want to make a motion relative to this?
Whatever the staff thinks appropriate language, but make that move to separate the two parts of this resolution.
Okay,
that's one option.
yeah, so I
The
think
other option is-
Lucio's suggestion that motion would be to just remove the language for just remove the 2022 EAF in the 2 places, but leave it in place for 2024. So is that what you're suggesting? Is there a way to edit the slide to show that?
Yeah, let me do that really quickly.
That'd be great.
Hopefully that.
Yep, you did it. So it removes the 2022 EAF. So the motion we would be approving is kind of the committee's rule that in 2020 for 2024 grants, which people would then be told at the beginning of that grant period, that their spend down there would not be an additional spend down period of 6 months after the 4-year spend down period for IOLTA. But it would not, that would not apply to the 2022 EAF grants that otherwise would have to be completely spent by December 31st. So is there, I think, Angie, you're making this motion as revised, right?
Okay.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Is there a second to the motion from another member?
I'd be happy to. This is Maria.
Thank you, Maria. Is there any other discussion from committee members? All right, let's do the roll call.
Fightmaster? Gonzalez?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Klein? Morales?
Yeah.
Vargas? Blakemore?
Yes.
The motion passes.
Thank you. And thanks for your patience, staff, in explaining it and making sure we got it right. Okay, let's go on to item 5.3, which are the 2024 budgets. And I think we did a little explanation for our new committee members sort of about this process when we did orientation, but it looks like Erica has a nice little just reminder of how this all works, and then we'll get to the specific agenda items that we have to consider as part of those budgets.
Thank you. So budgets are sort of the last piece of the eligibility process for grantees receiving IOLTA and EAF funds. After grantees are found eligible in August, State Bar staff prepares allocations by running the funding formula, which are then released usually towards the end of that month. And grantees have 30 days under the State Bar rules to submit a budget proposal for their planned use of the funds in the coming year. We had 110 grantees found eligible for the coming year. And the majority of those are qualified legal services projects. And so they need to submit budgets that'll demonstrate that they're defraying the costs of providing legal services to indigent persons or for other purposes permitted by statute. And so some of the things highlighted in the memo are things like the loan repayment assistance program under 6219B. So that's also a permissible use of funds in addition to providing direct legal services. And then in the case of support centers, their allocations need to be used to provide services to the qualified legal services projects. So that's sort of the very broadly what staff is looking for with budget submissions. And then more specifically related to EAF, grantees need to have identified activities and then articulate anticipated outcomes for the use of those funds. And the purpose of that is to be able to evaluate sort of the services after the grant period ends to provide information on the impact of the funds and the use of the funds. IOLTA is a little bit more flexible in that it can be used for core funding and kind of distributed across a variety of or throughout the organization's operations. And then the other major piece for budgeting is recommended expense ratios. So as I think I mentioned earlier, that grantees should have 75% of their budgets devoted to personnel expenditures and program expenditures, and then 25% or less to non-personnel or administrative expenditures. If they deviate from that, that's something the committee needs to approve. And then there's also benefits to compensation ratios that are recommended, that benefits should not exceed 40% of compensation. So very broadly, kind of what we're looking for with budget related issues. I also wanted to highlight some changes that specifically happened with the 2024 budgets, one being the multi-year spending period for IOLTA, which we just discussed quite a bit. But essentially that is allowing grantees to plan out over a period of multiple years, and we ask them to break down their expenditures on a by-year basis. If they need to make changes in the future, they can submit revisions, but it was intended to give an idea of how the funds will be used over that 4-year period, and sort of how it'll be utilized overall. And then we also shared with grantees the loan repayment assistance program guidelines that the commission approved back in August. So it has been the case that grantees could use state bar funds to support their loan repayment assistance programs in the past. But there was a statutory change recently adding a program administered by the Access to Justice Commission that has slightly different parameters than what would fall under just general budgeting guidance for IOLTA and EAF. And so in light of that, the commission issued guidelines to help grantees sort of navigate if they're doing their own self-administered program, if they're going to participate in the commission's program, if they want to participate in another third-party administered program, sort of the budgeting guidance and the parameters that they need to adhere to in order to use the funds and receive approval. So we had a number of proposals for use of the funds for LRAP, and we separated it out in the budget this year in a way that it had not necessarily been before, in a greater amount of detail, which will allow for better tracking of the funds and also evaluation of the funds on the back end, seeing how LRAP specifically is having an impact on things like recruitment and retention and organizational stability. And then the last change that was relevant to budgeting this year is there was a change over the summer to the definition of civil legal services, which was a result of the codification process. And previously, the definition was quite broad and vague and essentially said, you know, services provided under either by an attorney or under the, you know, supervision and direction of an attorney. And the new definition is much more detailed in terms of focusing more on the type of work and the impact of the work rather than the classification of the person performing the work. And this is relevant for budgeting because for many years, the commission has permitted, for example, holistic service models. Grantees might have social workers on staff. That's probably the most common example that work as part of the legal team or under the direction and supervision of an attorney. And the work that they're doing contributes to a legal outcome, but is obviously that person is not an attorney. So that work has been permitted, but has always required sort of individual review at the commission level. Given the rule change, that type of work, as long as it is contributing to that legal outcome, fits more squarely in this definition now. And so does not necessitate sort of individual review for every time we see an instance of that. So those are three sort of major changes with budgeting this year that kind of impacted staff's review and analysis. And then once staff has gone through all the budgets, the things that we would need to elevate to the committee for approval are the deviations from the recommended expense ratios that I mentioned. In some instances, late or substantially incomplete submissions, capital additions for purchase of real property, and anything that might be considered a non-qualifying activity under the statute or the rules. So I'm going to walk through any of those that have come up in our review. So the first one are the deviations from the recommended expense ratios. We had 3 grantees that deviated from the personnel and non-personnel recommended expenditures, and 1 grantee that deviated from the recommended distribution for program versus administrative expenses. And so the first one was Center for Gender and Refugee Studies, their IOLTA grant. They budgeted approximately 64% for personnel and 36% for non-personnel. And the explanation that they had provided was that they're making updates to their grants platform, their asylum case database, and their front-facing website. And the database is a tool that's used by their Qualified Legal Services Project community. And it's intended to essentially make it more functional and provide improvements to the interface. And it's going to be an enhanced tool for the use of QLSPs. They're also just making other general improvements. And so since this is a one-time expense, but it is geared towards the type of technical assistance and support that support centers would typically provide to QLSPs, staff was recommending approval of this deviation. I know there was somebody from CGRS on the call. I'm not sure if she wanted to add anything related to the request.
Hi, thank you, Erica. This is Kristen from the Center for Gender and Refugee Studies. I would say that's a great overview, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you. I'm not seeing any questions. And Erica, just since we were asking, are we, this represents, I think, all of these ones that bar staff is recommending approval of. So would it make sense once we go through these explanations to take a vote on those?
Sure.
Okay.
And then the next organization was Greater Bakersfield Legal Assistance. So I know we had just spoken about their 2022 grant. In the context of 2024, they similarly are deviating a little bit, dropping below this recommended 75% ratio to personnel. And the explanation that they had provided was that they do have a third-party vendor providing IT services on site. And so that is a cost that falls under non-personnel, but is still a position that is, supporting the work of the organization and ensuring that they, are fully functional and up to date. So staff would recommend approval of this deviation as well. And then the last one for personnel, non-personnel is LACPA, Council for Justice, and on their EAF grant, They were proposing 55% or 54%, excuse me, to personnel and 46% to non-personnel. And the explanation that they provided was, again, this is a contract service scenario. So they have a contract attorney who's helping coordinate their pro bono activities. And that is a line item that falls under non-personnel, but is again contributing to the direct services that the organization has provided. And my understanding is that this has been a structure that LACBA has followed for at least a few years in the past that's been previously approved. And so since this is continuing part of their service delivery model, staff is recommending approval of that deviation. And I did want to acknowledge, I think in the memo we had mentioned that there had been a request from Western Center on Law and Poverty. That has been removed from the materials because that organization revised its budget. And so there is no deviation anymore. So they don't need to be addressed here. And then lastly, there's Family Violence Appellate Project, which fell a little bit below the 75% mark for their program expenditures. They put a little bit more into administrative expenditures because they're investing in their infrastructure staffing. And so they're building out their human resources component. And they are also working with their deputy director on things like recruiting, hiring, and benefits administration. And they're hoping that having their operational needs met, that it'll help improve the organization's performance overall. And so it is a minor deviation, and given that it'll help the organization as a whole, staff is recommending approval on those. So as far as expense deviations, that these are the only organizations implicated. So if you wanted Catherine to take a vote on that before moving on to the other issues, we can do that.
I think it would just be easier for us to do that since you did a terrific explanation before we all lose that. So are there questions about the staff recommendation to approve the deviations from the recommended expense ratios? Does any member have a question? Okay, and if not, is there a motion to approve the staff recommendation to approve the expense ratios?
Well, at the risk of repeating, I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Angie. Is there a second?
I can second it.
Thank you, Eloina. Any other discussion? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Could you take the vote on this item?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fightmaster, Gonzalez,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Klein, Morales,
Yes.
Vargas, Blakemore.
Yes, thank you.
Motion passes. Okay, so the next item or budget related issue for the committee to address are late and substantially incomplete submissions. So previous practice was any submission that came in late, even if it was 1 or 2 minutes late, had to come to the committee for approval. There was a recent rule change, again, as part of that package that I mentioned with the change to the definition of civil legal services. There was a recent rule change that allows staff some discretion now within 1 business day to accept late submissions. So this year, with the budgets, we received 9 late submissions. Staff accepted 6 of them, and then we highlighted in the memo these 3 organizations, which even though they all technically came in within the 1-day period, there were other reasons for wanting the committee to perhaps pay some additional attention to these. So the first one was Asian Pacific Islander Legal Outreach, which had submitted once they were notified that their budget was late. They did submit within 1 day, but as noted in the memo, the submission was substantially incomplete, it required staff to follow up with the organization and seek additional revisions. And then during that revision process, the requested revisions were also late. And so staff was becoming concerned about a potential pattern with this organization because we did see something similar during the application process over the summer. And so while we will still recommend accepting the late budget, staff was also raising it to the committee's attention in case additional conditions are to be imposed. So that was also part of the rule change, was that the committee can accept late submissions outright, or they can impose certain conditions if they think that an organization may need additional attention. So examples would be, having a separate meeting with the organization, reaching out to their board, things like that, in order to address anything that we think might be becoming more than a one-time situation. So,
Erica, my recollection is that one type of letter we sent was just a reminder to the organization and the board that this was late and incomplete, and this has happened before, and here's when it happened before, and we're reminding you of the importance of this, and encourage you to correct it, and if not, the committee can take other action in the future, right? That kind of letter.
Right. Yes. So yes, that is one example. Also, it could be a letter. So that's really at the committee's discretion, but we did think that it warranted maybe a discussion about that if you would like to do that. So, and then the second was Coalition of California Welfare Rights Organizations, which did submit within the one business day after, and they did let us know that they were having some difficulty getting their submission in. They reported that they had some sort of technical issue on the day that the budget was due. And as we noted in the memo, it came in soon enough that staff, under other circumstances would have typically accepted this late submission, but given the context that we discussed earlier in the meeting, and the fact that one of the conditions on their on the plan that was developed by the committee and the commission was for the organization to be timely and complete in its submissions. That's why we are addressing it with the committee today. There were a number of revisions needed to the budget after it came in, and staff has met with the organization, I think at least 3 or 4 times during the past month or so to try to work out and correct or revise the budget to conform to the necessary requirements. So again, bringing it to the committee's attention in case it would be appropriate to take any other actions other than what's already in their plan, their action plan, or if there's any other follow-up that you'd like staff to do with the organization. And then the last one was Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights, which came in within the one-day deadline, but was also missing a significant portion of its budget at the time it was submitted. And staff followed up with the organization and obtained some more context for that. And it seems that that organization has had a good amount of turnover lately, and that staff who are familiar with the IOLTA requirements were either had moved on or were not available. And once it was addressed with the organization, however, they promptly made updates and have a budget that conforms to the requirements now. And so staff viewed this organization potentially as more of an isolated incident that's related to their current circumstances, but we're recommending acceptance of this just with no necessarily additional conditions. But with APILO and CCWRO, we would recommend that the committee consider some sort of follow-up with those organizations.
And for the Lawyers Committee, my recollection is this was sort of the first time this had occurred, right? This isn't representative of
right. This is not an ongoing concern or pattern. And I believe Mark from LCCR would like to comment.
Okay. Go ahead, Mark.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I really appreciate the staff's sort of note in the memo that this was sort of an exceptional case for us. We did have a prolonged medical leave over the summer with our CFO, and we had a new ED that was onboarding in August and September. So it really was exceptional, and we're all back now, and I think, back on track, and we really value staff's time and know that it takes additional, resources to go back and forth with us. So we really appreciate your understanding.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks for joining us and for the comment. Erica, maybe the thing that makes the most sense is to take these up individually because they're all somewhat different and decide what the committee wants to do. So it seems like the staff recommendation on Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights is to accept the late application and not impose any additional conditions on LCCR. So is there any other discussion about that? Okay, let's just take a vote on these individually, I think. So not hearing any disagreement with the staff recommendation, is there a motion to approve without conditions the late application of Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights?
So move.
Thank you, Angie. Is there a second?
I can second it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Is there any further discussion? Okay, let's do a roll call vote on that.
Fightmaster, Gonzalez,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Klein, Morales,
Yes.
Vargas, and Blakemore.
Approved. Thank you.
Great. Motion passes.
So going from the top, Asian Pacific Islander Legal Outreach. This is an organization, it looks like, who submitted late. There was significant work and some back and forth with staff to get the late submission, which was missing information, in shape. And this had happened during the application review process. So the question is, for example, would we want to do something such as sending a letter to the staff, or the staff and the board sort of highlighting that this has occurred more than once, and we encourage them to be timely in their submissions. And if things continue to be late, the committee, has the discretion to take other action, or is there some other approach that the committee would like to take? What thoughts? Eloina.
Can you provide some examples of typical conditions that might be imposed in these situations? I know you mentioned a letter. Is that something that is that the only thing that could be done or would be done in this situation or similar situations?
So in my experience, and then I welcome Erica and Rocio sort of saying other things they think could be done. In the past, the committee has sent a letter similar to what I said as sort of the first thing that it has done. For other organizations where there's more significant appearing problems, we've done things like request a meeting with the executive director and the board president, or the appropriate board members, and had a member of the committee join with the staff to emphasize the challenges that we're seeing and to urge correction with that. So those are the two examples that I know, and when we've done that, it often has improved how grantees have responded to the deadlines. Not always, but sometimes, generally.
I would agree with Catherine's summary that usually the letter is sort of the first step, and then moving to meetings with staff and or board members of the organization. I think if it were serious enough or had been going on long enough, things like an eligibility review conference might be appropriate as well further down the line. Staff doesn't necessarily think that we're there yet with this organization, and so a letter is probably what we would recommend, because this organization has not necessarily gone through some of those other steps yet.
And I'll just add that the letter that we're referencing has previously been described in these meetings as like a warning letter, because it essentially does say that this is the issue, this is a warning, and what may happen in the future if this continues to happen. So it is fairly stern on behalf of the committee.
Did it answer your question, Eloina?
It did, thank you.
Do commission members have a thought about approach with Asian Pacific Islander legal outreach? Angie.
A question first, how responsive or cooperative were they when the various budget revision questions came up with staff? Is it just that they need a little prodding, or is this systemic?
I believe that once, for example, once the budget was submitted and we took a look at it and saw that, a substantial portion of it was either missing or needed serious revision, my recollection is that staff reached out to them, provided, detailed instructions about what needed to happen, and gave a deadline. And then that deadline was also missed. So it was not just the original deadline, but subsequent follow-up also required additional kind of
maybe some kind of a letter that reminds them of the importance of the deadlines.
And then I will say that this was similar to the application period over the summer for eligibility, that there were also some challenges in getting timely responses to our requests for revision or for follow-up or clarification. So,
Eloina?
I don't have a recommendation. I don't know if this is the appropriate time, but I believe this agency has an office in Alameda County, I think in addition to San Francisco. But because of the Alameda County location, I will be abstaining from a vote on this organization.
Okay, thank you for letting us know or reminding us of that. Maria, did you have any comments?
No, not at this point. Thank you.
So it sounds like Angie was contemplating a letter that was a step back from a warning that would say something like, we're approving your late application. We're reminding you that the deadlines matter. And, please comply with the deadlines in the future kind of letter.
Yeah.
Is that the gist of it?
Yeah.
Would you like to make a motion to that effect?
I make a motion to that effect.
Thank Maria, would you second that or make a?
And if you don't mind, perhaps I can just add a friendly amendment that a letter would be issued, but that this letter, somewhere along the lines, we would be notified at some point in the process how many of these letters an organization has received. I'm just thinking for accountability purposes. So we issued a letter, they're late, but what of it? Will it be filed? How do we know that it's the second letter, that it's the third letter? So I'm just trying to see if maybe we can add some sort of mechanism to some sort of language that would demonstrate that there's a mechanism for us to know that there is more than one letter, if that was the case.
Yeah, I'd accept that. I mean, however staff wants to word that meets those ideas.
Fantastic, thank you. And I would second that then.
All right, thank you. There's a motion and a second. Erica, could you call the roll, please?
Fight Master, Gonzalez,
Abstain?
King,
Yes.
Klein, Morales,
Yes.
Vargas, Blakemore,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you. And then the third organization is one we've had a lot of information about today, including the fact that one of the conditions of the process that they're in with staff is they submit timely applications, but then their budget, it appears, was late and once and within the day, but when staff reviewed it, there were a number of areas for correction and revision. I think staff is concerned because it is not in compliance with the contingency plan that was put in place that the organization had agreed to. And there's been prior communication, I believe, with this organization about the importance of submitting documents on time. So I'll just offer like one solution would be for a member of the commission and staff to meet with the executive director and a board member and bring to their attention in that more formal way that we're concerned with not only the late submission, but the non-compliance with the contingency plan, and have a discussion with them about what they're going to do to come into compliance with the plan that they're supposed to be following. So I'm interested in thoughts about that. Angie.
What is the current thing going on now? I mean, we did discuss how they're already not meeting the conditions. So what is staff doing? I mean, I don't want to lay on things more than we need to, but you're right. I mean, we should start formalizing some of these objections. So how much is staff already doing?
So staff, continues to be in frequent contact with the organization. As I mentioned, we've had several separate meetings with their staff to try to address some of these issues. So there is regular contact and reminders and follow-up happening. I know on some of the other grants that it's similar that they're having separate meetings with CCWRO's executive director and other relevant staff. I believe that some of their board chair has been included on some of the communications, but maybe not all of them. And so, and there was a prior warning letter that has gone out to this organization that sort of detailed that contingency plan. So I think similar to what Catherine was mentioning, that from staff's perspective, the next step might be to bring in a board member and have a more fulsome discussion with not just state bar staff and grantee staff, but committee members and board members from that organization as well.
Okay. Are there other questions or comments?
If I may, I was asking earlier on with respect to the needs of the organization. And I'm also being mindful of how much more work our staff already has on their portfolios. But it seems to me that if the organization is going through some sort of transition or they need additional technical support, I think ideally if we could provide that technical support so that we can provide that guidance to address the challenge so that it doesn't become problematic over time. I really like the idea of perhaps bringing in a board member, again, to reiterate the importance of whether it's the accuracy of the report, the full report, the the paperwork that they're submitting. But I'm leaning towards asking staff to do more to support them. I think on my end, what I'm trying to avoid is if there's funding that's not being spent down, if reports are not fully completed, if budgets are not fully flushed out, that impacts their ability to provide a service to the community. And so I feel as though we need to be proactive in providing them the support, but not necessarily micromanaging, but still providing them that overall structure so that they know what we are expecting and be able to set them up to succeed. Because if they tend to have these same challenges over and over again, then that means that they're not taking the corrective action on their own. And so I move towards, and this is not a motion, I'm just saying that I'm leaning towards asking staff for to provide additional support for them. And I don't know if maybe staff would be able to further articulate what it is that they're doing for each one of these organizations. But I think for me right now, I just don't have a strong sense of what staff is doing to support these organizations.
So I wonder, Maria, like if we did have a meeting with them, like a question might be, because I saw that long list earlier for the plan that was on the slide that staff had presented of the things they have been working on the organization with. But maybe a question is like we have a meeting and we ask them what additional support do they need, right? So like it's always, as an external person, hard, I think, to understand what support people might need, but that could be part of the discussion in a meeting with the staff and the board to ask them to identify how they can be helpful, because I don't think any of us want to end up in a eligibility and budget review, which is kind of like the step before they would be determined not eligible, right? So let's do what you're suggesting, like as part of a meeting to have clarity about what do they need help with. Does that make sense?
Yes, and I would completely agree with that. And I don't know if maybe, and again, I apologize. I'm relatively new to all of this, but I'm just kind of curious from an organizational perspective, do they perhaps not necessarily know how to ask the question, or do they not necessarily have the guidance or the professional background to be able to clearly articulate and to ask for that specific support? So I don't know if maybe they just haven't been able to do so and asking for that specific support. So I'm all for having some sort of meeting, sit down conversation with them to get a stronger sense of where they do need the support and the help.
All right, sounds great. Thank you. Eloina.
I have a question more regarding the timeline in terms of when they entered into the plan, in terms of their eligibility sort of criteria conditions versus when the budget was due on September 22nd.
So the contingency plan and those conditions were put in place, I believe, on August 10th at the commission's last meeting in August, which I think was the 10th. And then yes, so budgets were due September 22nd. So there was about a month and a half between that. But you know, prior to the commission's meeting in August, there were lengthy discussions over the course of the summer with the organization about some of the issues that had come up. And there were committee members who participated in the eligibility review conference with them. And so August 10th was not necessarily the first time that this organization had heard about some of the concerns or known what were some of the steps that were being recommended for them to take. There had been a pattern of late and incomplete submissions particularly with things like audits or expenditure reports. Like I mentioned, their prior carryover request from the prior year was inaccurate, and they carried over a lot more funding than what they had reported. So this was the decision was made in August, but there had been sort of an extensive time where staff and the committee were involved with the organization prior to that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Sorry, I was muted. Rocio, sorry. Did you have a
No,
comment?
no. Yeah, no worries. I just wanted to be able to provide a little bit of background. I heard Maria's like a question about what TA looks like on the staff end. And so it's part of our role as an office, and in particular my team, like overseeing on my end, overseeing like the grants piece of providing technical assistance to any and all grantees, whether they reach out directly with any questions or if we identify a need to update a budget, or if something looks a little off, it's missing, incomplete. So we have an entire review process, and we build that timeline in everything from an application for all of our grants, and for each of the components, including like the budgets in particular for IOLTA and EAF. We provide extensive technical assistance. So we sometimes provide kind of like group conversations, but more often than not, it's one-on-one technical assistance. And each organization has what we call like a primary staff contact, so a program staff assigned to them, as well as one of our financial analysts to help with more of the fiscal components. And so for this particular organization, we have put in numerous hours screen sharing, walking them through like the context, the requirements, providing templates, talking to, I know Dwan and myself have also joined some of the calls. So we're happy to continue providing technical assistance, but it's only when it gets to a particular, I think, level of that we do elevate it to the commission. So happy to provide more context if helpful, knowing that I think we haven't given an overview of the process, what it looks like, and providing that TA to grantees as needed. And we always have like an open door if anyone has questions, but then we also are proactive in trying to ensure at the end of the day, you know, we want everything to be looking complete and accurate and approved. And we elevate those things that we feel as staff were unable to approve as is.
Oh, thank you. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, wait. Thank you.
Okay, so any other questions or discussion? And does someone want to make a motion about how we should proceed? Angie?
This is just for the CCWRO.
That's correct.
Well, I would move that we approve them with additional requirement of, and I'm not sure I'm wording this the way you want, a meeting that involves their governing authorities as well, to impress on them how serious all this is, and that they have to, you know, like step up and do it right.
And then I think what Maria was suggesting, and that as part of that discussion, we asked them what additional, there'd be an interactive discussion of what additional assistance they need. Does that work for you?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay, is there a second to that motion?
I'd be happy to second that motion.
Thank you, Maria. Any further discussion? And we are voting on California Welfare Rights Organization. I think I might have neglected. Did we vote? I don't think we voted on Apilo yet, right? Did we vote on sending that letter?
Yeah.
Oh, we did. Perfect. Okay. I was getting myself confused. So just on California Welfare Rights Organization, there's a motion and a second. No other discussion. So could you call the roll, please?
Fightmaster? Gonzalez?
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Klein, Morales,
Yes.
Vargas, Blakemore,
Yes.
and motion passes.
I think that takes us to our last item, right?
So we do still have, and I apologize that this was not in your meeting materials. We had one request for capital addition that came up.
Okay, thank you.
So, yeah, so I can just briefly provide some background about our capital additions requests. There are some guidelines for the purchase of real property that that our office adheres to, and when it comes up in the context of a budget submission, if a grantee is planning on putting funds towards either purchasing real property or making significant improvements to either buildings that they own or significant leasehold improvements, if it exceeds sort of the minimum amount, which under the guidelines is either $5,000 or 5% of the grant award, whichever is lower, it requires committee review. So Legal Services of Northern California had budgeted $28,750 to make improvements to a number of their offices. They operate in several locations in Northern California. And so they had reported that they'd like to use some of the IOLTA funding for those improvements in terms of the offices where they work with or receive clients and where their staff is primarily working. I will note that what they've budgeted is it only amounts to about 2% of their total allocation. So it is relatively low amount in comparison to the overall amount of funding that this organization is receiving. So staff is recommending approval of those capital additions, but happy to answer any questions about it.
Erica, just for clarity, we approve them regardless of the amount or percentage. Is that what you're saying?
Right. Because it was more than $5,000. That's why it requires committee approval.
5,000 or 10%, right? That I just heard 10%, so I'm like, but you said it was 2%. Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's the lower of either amount, and so the $5,000 amount is the trigger in this instance.
Okay. Are there any questions from commission members about this? I'm not seeing any. Is there a motion to approve the staff recommendation to approve Legal Services of Northern California request for capital additions in the amount of $28,750?
So moved.
Thank you, Maria. Is there a second?
I will second it.
Thank you, Eloina. Not seeing any other requests for discussion or questions, so I think you could call the roll.
Fightmaster, Gonzalez,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Klein, Morales,
Yes.
Vargas, Blakemore.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, are there any other budget related requests that we need to consider?
No, there were no non-qualifying activities that we identified. So there's nothing in terms of that general category that we would typically raise. So it would just be staff recommending approval of all the budgets that have been submitted, recommending approval to the commission.
Okay. And I think those were attached with the list and the amounts were attached, correct?
Yes, they were.
Materials, yes.
And
go ahead.
I apologize. Just one thing I wanted to mention was that, staff is still working to kind of help grantees clean up any sort of administrative errors or very minor things that don't impact like the ability to approve the budget overall. And so we would just recommending approval to the commission contingent on grantees, finalizing the revisions we've requested by the November 9th meeting.
Okay, so the only resolution we're doing is this last one.
This last one, yeah. Yep.
Which is that the committee recommends to the Legal Services Trust Fund Commission approval of all 2024 IOLTA EAF budgets from organizations listed in the November 3rd, 2023 meeting materials, contingent upon satisfactory completion of any staff-related corrections by the time of the Trust Fund Commission's November 9th meeting. So are there any questions or discussions about that last motion? We've already taken care of the other ones. Could I have a motion to would someone make a motion for this, to approve this?
I'll move the approval.
Thank you, Angie. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Maria. Don't see any other requests for discussion, so you could call roll, Erica. Thank you.
Yeah. Fightmaster, Gonzalez,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Klein, Morales,
Yes.
Vargas, and Blakemore.
Yes.
Motion passes.
I think that takes us to 5.4, right?
Yes, the last item on the agenda was the identifying programs potentially for eligibility review conferences. So I think as we had discussed with the committee over the summer, there had been a number of monitoring visits with support centers this past year that raised some questions about the qualifying nature of some of the activities those organizations were engaging in. Staff has been working to follow up with those organizations to gather sort of additional information and material from them to help make that determination. But given the fact that, we've acknowledged that some of these rules might need to be updated through the codification process in the coming year, and that support center rules tend to be a little bit more broad than some of those that apply to QLSPs. Staff still working with these organizations, but interested in the potential for scheduling not an eligibility review conference for them in terms of their overall eligibility, but to talk about specific activities these organizations are engaging in to give guidance to them, and to get more perspective from the committee, because I think some of these activities have not necessarily been reviewed in detail before. And so the two organizations we had mentioned at August's meeting was Youth Law Center and Legal Services for Prisoners with Children. And so given that this committee is not going to meet again for a number of months, staff just sort of preemptively wanted to raise this again to let you know that we're still working with those organizations. But if we think it's necessary, this if the committee approves it, would give us the ability to schedule if we think it's necessary before the next meeting in February or March in order to address some of these questions before the next application period. So so today is not about, we're not raising a specific concern. It's more about letting you know that we are still reviewing some of the materials that came in and that we might want to bring committee members into that discussion to help provide some more perspective and ultimately an opinion on the qualifying nature of some of the activities that we're seeing.
Okay, and do you need us to pass a motion relative to that, it sounded like?
Yeah, traditionally the committee has voted to say that, that we can schedule that.
And do we make it specific to those two organizations? Is that what you're suggesting?
Yes. Yep.
So as I understand, the motion would be to give the staff the authority to schedule, if necessary, eligibility and budget review meetings for legal. So is it Youth Law Center and Legal Services for
Prisoners with Children.
To discuss specific unresolved eligibility questions, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
If someone would like to make a motion to that effect.
I'll go ahead and move that, just as you express the language. I wouldn't be able to rephrase that.
Okay, it's fine. Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any questions or comments? And is there any public comment on this, Erica?
I don't see any raised hands at the moment.
All right, thanks. And then you could call the roll.
Fightmaster? Gonzalez?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Klein? Morales?
Yes.
Vargas? Blakemore?
Yes.
Motion passes.
So it seems like, Erica, that there potentially will be 3 meetings with organizations that members of this committee, one or more of us should attend, right? So there's the California Welfare Rights Organization and the 2 that we just listed. So I think once you know when those are, will you just be in touch with us, or if people have a preference for one that they want to do, that they could let you know or something, right? And they'll be scheduled working with the individual members' schedules so that people can participate.
Right. Yes, we will reach out once we're at a point ready to schedule, but if you already know of one that you might want to participate in, you can feel free to reach out to me at any point so we can note that.
Sounds great. All right, any other comments or questions from committee members? Thank you to the 2 new members for so quickly getting up to speed and asking really good questions and making good comments. Really happy to have you here. And thanks again to our staff and our community liaisons for their input, and for all the people. There's quite a number of people that remained on the call for the whole meeting. So it was nice to have programs here and weighing in and providing additional explanation. Grateful for that as well. So any last comments?
Thank you to the staff.
Yeah, thank you. And you guys did a great job. You're getting almost an hour of your life back. Okay, have a nice weekend, everyone. And I think the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.